Hey everybody, Chris the Cop. Yeah, I know. I'm not giving my big jovial welcome here, and there's good reason why. I decided that I wanted to do this public service announcement after learning about Reckful, a Twitch gamer and streamer committing suicide. Now, in reading the articles and watching the videos about Reckful, it was said that he suffered from depression. Now, some of the things that I read talked about how people who commit suicide don't think about the people they're leaving behind, that they're weak, and I wanted to talk about those misunderstandings because they definitely are. Why can I talk about these? Well, why can I talk about these misunderstandings? Well, I do have training in suicide and suicide prevention as both a paramedic and police officer. But I have seen suicide in both those professions. And I've seen people who attempted to commit suicide in both those professions and were not successful and are now living a life of pain and agony because they've hurt their body so bad that they'll never be the same. Some are in a vegetative state. Some will never be able to walk again. Various different bad things. Now, as a paramedic, I have probably seen, well, as a paramedic and police officer, I've seen about every way someone could kill themselves. I've seen people overdose on pills and narcotics. I've seen people slashing their wrists and throats, hanging, and of course, death by a firearm. Now, as a paramedic, I had very rare opportunities where I was having to talk somebody down. But as a police officer, I've had to talk to people who wanted to jump off a bridge, talk to people who armed themselves with a gun and wanted to kill themselves or wanted me to kill them, suicide by cop. So, yeah, bit disturbing on those. Now, me personally, I suffer from PTSD. But I know where my PTSD comes from. It's the 30 plus years that I've been in public safety, and it's everything that I have witnessed and seen throughout 3 decades. They say the average police officer sees 3 times the pain and suffering that a normal person experiences. Now, for me, I sometimes have sleepless nights, and that's sometimes the real reason why I'm up at night streaming and playing video games, because I can't sleep, or quite frankly, I'm afraid to sleep. I will sometimes wake up to babies screaming. I will have nightmares about the people I couldn't save, or the various different scenarios that I've been in. But a few years ago, I found some therapy to be able to deal with that and not go down that rabbit hole of depression. And for me, it was telling my stories. And as an instructor for an EMT school, as well as a adjunct professor for criminal justice, I'm able to tell those real life stories, which I believe some of you have heard about 2 or 3 of them so far, that I tell these stories, and it's like therapy for me because I'm getting it out, and I'm also sharing because I'm sharing with people who are going to be the next generation EMT, paramedic, and police officer, and they need to understand what they're getting into so they don't go down that rabbit hole. Now, we've always talked about suicide prevention, but we sometimes forget all about it, and we forget about the people who are suffering. Now, in my occupation, we really never talked about PTSD or depression. Now, because of the Afghanistan and Iraq wars and our returning veterans, we are talking about PTSD like it's no tomorrow. As a matter of fact, we have the 22 deaths by suicide per day for our veterans, which is just something we cannot tolerate. law enforcement last year, 240 active and retired police officers killed themselves. Today, if you do a search, you can find EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, and police officers killing themselves every year because of they're not able to deal with everything that they have seen during their careers. So, people who commit suicide, are they selfish? No, they're not. We will never understand the darkness that they are going through unless we've been there. I have had the opportunity of talking to people who attempted to commit suicide, and they described that darkness to me. They have told me that they knew they have loved ones that, would miss them, and they knew that this was not the right thing to do, and they were scared about what was going to be on the other side. But none of that mattered, and it didn't matter because they tried to make it matter so they could try to have something to live for, but it just wasn't there. They weren't feeling it. Now, obviously today, some of them are very thankful for not going through it and getting help. But how do we recognize that people need help? At the end of my videos, I always say, take care of yourself and take care of one another. That's what that is all about. If you know somebody who needs help, if you know somebody that just doesn't seem right, then the number below is something that you should give them. Or maybe you don't feel 100%. The number is there for you. But I always tell people this, is that you should reach out. I apologize for that. I'm trying to get comfortable here. Is reach out to family, friends, colleagues, and coworkers and talk to them. If you are one of those people and someone's coming to you, take the time to listen without being judgmental. And when they're done talking, don't interrupt them while they're talking. When they're done talking, try to offer them some sound advice and be there for them. Be there 24/7. You could be the difference between life and death. Any one of us can. And sometimes people just need to know that. Now, is that going to solve everyone's problems? Is that going to work for everybody? Of course not. But we have to start somewhere. Yeah, I don't know if there were signs that maybe people didn't pick up on when it came to Reckful's story, but it's still a sad story. No one should judge him. He wasn't weak. He just felt that there was no alternatives for him. So, with that, look out for the people around you. Be there for people. And if you're one of those people who's watching this video and, you're kind of have those feelings of depression, having those feelings that your life is not where it should be. Number one, you should never be judging your life based upon someone else's life. Live your life. Live your life. If I could say that one more time, live your life. It's unique to you. If you're watching this video and you can relate to some of what I'm saying, then reach out to somebody. Heck, reach out to me. Send me a DM. If anybody who is a subscriber to this channel knows this, I reply to every comment that someone sends me. So I might be able to provide you some information or some help. It sucks. Depression sucks. PTSD sucks. And once again, you can never understand what a suicidal person is going through. It is a darkness that you would not want your worst enemy to ever feel. There are people out there that are waiting to help if you need help. And if you are inclined to, then help out a friend or family member before it's too late. We don't need to lose any other people to suicide. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my public service announcement. I felt like I owed it because I am a gamer and I am a YouTube streamer. So I felt, and as well as a police officer and paramedic with some training. So I felt that it was prudent for me to put this announcement out. It's like I don't want to, I had plans to put other videos out today, but I don't feel like I should dwarf this video at all. So maybe tomorrow. All right, everyone, take care of yourself, take care of one another. And when I mean by take care of one another, it is true from the heart. Take care of one another. This is Chris the Cop, and stay safe.